Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your week. Hope you're having an unbelievable start to your day. As for me, it's full steam ahead, business as usual. We're trying to close out the year on a very positive note with a great deal of momentum. I am going to be as brief as I can here on Transformational Tuesday. I'm going to be direct and to the point on what brings about true transformation. Now, before I do, I want to point you to the description box. There are several offers there that will either allow you to work with me, allow you to attend the Ascension 2022 event at the end of the year. Definitely going to be a transformational events. That's what I do. I do transformational events. I do progressive events. It's not a motivational speech. This is an 8-hour event where you literally experience change during the event. You literally experience a breakthrough through the event. If you haven't registered, register. The good thing is there are several opportunities to work with me and receive free admission. This event is going to be both live attendance and virtual attendance. You will have people live in the audience, but you will also have people who are attending via stream. They will be literally connected and streamed in. Look, here is what I want to share with you about transformation. And keep in mind that transformation requires change. I read a post earlier today, and it simply said that success in life, I'm paraphrasing, isn't about chance, it's about change. And that's one of the things that we are going to have to grasp if we want a life that is all that we desire. I'm going to be very frank with you. I think sometimes people want to coddle you. One of the problems we have in today's culture is we search for people to validate where we are, how we think, how we behave, versus finding people who will challenge us to raise the standard. And it doesn't matter how well you're doing. If you're complacent and you're looking for yes men or yes women to underwrite and validate your complacency, you're out of line. And that's a problem we have. But you know what I see that really just gets to me, and I mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again, and it probably won't be the last time. I'll do anything to succeed. I'll do anything to solve my problems. I'll do anything to get a better career. I'll do anything to achieve financial freedom. I'll do anything to start my own successful business. And yet the truth of the matter is, out of all the people who say I'll do anything, probably 3% actually mean it. 3% will actually follow through and do what it takes. And when I say anything, I mean anything within the confines of the law, moral turpitude, and ethical responsibility. Everything else, anything that doesn't harm someone else should be on the table. I don't mean harm yourself, but I mean go in. I mean be committed to it. How early are you willing to make up? How many of your pleasures are you willing to put aside to focus? How much of your casual time are you willing to commit to something meaningful that carries intrinsic value? How committed are you to going the distance, whatever that distance is, whatever your particular desire demands? You heard me say this before, that life will pay whatever price you demand of it. Here's the thing. When you make a demand on life, life will literally turn to you and say, okay, I got you, but here are the counter demands. And this is this thing that you're going to do with life. You're going to do in anything, whether you approach it from a religious perspective or a spiritual perspective, and your focus is dealing with God. God's going to sit up and say, I got you. But here is what I'm going to demand of you in return. I'm going to demand you exhibit some discipline. I'm going to demand that you exhibit some commitment. I am going to demand that you be willing to go through difficult times. See, the problem is we live in a world where we want everything, but we're not willing to stand up for it. We're not willing to fight for it. We're not willing to push through to it. We want the business, but we don't want the hours. We want the financial freedom, but we want to be careless in our spending, and we want the strong, lasting relationships, but we don't want to build them. We want to inherit them, and we want all of these things, and we want our life to look a certain way. We've read it in books. We've seen it in movies, and we want to live that life. But you don't understand that life isn't inherited. It doesn't come by chance. It comes by way of transformation. It comes by way of sitting up and saying, I am not happy with my life, so there are going to be some changes. You can't sit up and hope a new life. You can't sit up and wish a new life. And oh yeah, my religious people, you can't sit up and pray a new life. You've got to make some changes. You got to sit up and make up in your mind that I'm not going to do this anymore. It has not served me well. I'm not going to behave like this anymore. It has always caused me trouble. I am going to aspire to a high level. See, a bunch of us don't want to do what it takes. And when you say you're going to do anything means I'm going to stop surrounding myself with people who co-sign my mediocrity. I'm going to stop looking for people who will validate my ineptitude. I am now going to start to look to be around people who will challenge me, who will hold me accountable, who will remind me of what I said I was going to do. See, when I say I'm going to do anything or I'm willing to do anything, then it has to be anything. I've got to be willing to stand up and say it's going to be an uncomfortable week, because every morning this week I'm getting up at X o'clock and I'm hitting the gym. And when I finish the gym, I'm hitting the office. I'm hitting the workplace. I'm hitting wherever it is that I work, and I'm putting in the hours, and I'm going to do it at a high level, even if it's at a job that I don't like, because now I'm holding myself accountable to a new standard. And this new standard is going to serve me in my new place. And in that new place, I'm going to be able to exhibit the fullness of what I've become, because I've gained an understanding that I don't get what I want in this life. I get what I become. I get who I am. If I want something, I have to become the person capable of producing it, capable of creating it, capable of sustaining it. It's not about simply envisioning something. Yeah, the vision is the beginning. The vision is God's guarantee. You see, the thing is, people get off on downing visions. People get off on downing dreams. People get off on downing ideas. Why? Because they don't understand the power of the mind to initiate greatness. See, the thing is, if you can conceive it in your mind, that's God's evidence that it's possible. If you can see it inside of your imagination, then it is within your grasp. The problem is you've got to come now outside of your head and observe yourself, and then look at who you are, then look at what you're trying to do and accomplish, and say, what does that person look like? What will that person do? What does that person's self-talk sound like? What does that person's daily routine look like? What does that person's inner circle look like? Where am I at in the scope of measuring what that person will look like? Now, what happens is when you get to that point where you see that, you've got to be willing to go make the changes. That means you're going to have some difficult conversations with some people about your relationships because they aren't fulfilling. You're going to have to let them know, hey, look, it's been good, but you're going to have to be willing to sit up and say, hey, I need people in my inner circle who will fan my flames, but hold me accountable. I need people who understand the importance of being positive and encouraging and uplifting while still being stern in their assessment of my progress, and understand the difference between being constructively criticized and being torn down. I am going to find people who can see the excessive potential that rests on the inside of me and then demand that I walk in it. Transformation isn't some result of saying I want something and then automatically through some form of osmosis becoming it or having it or doing. No, it comes from sitting up and knowing your path and walking it out. It comes from an inexorable force or desire to push towards something that you will either get or die trying to have. It means that there is got to be a level of desire so strong that there's absolutely nothing that you're going to come in contact with that will make you quit. I am trying to get you to a place where you can understand that transformation is absolutely necessary, and change is the beginning of transformation. And it doesn't come out of a place of comfort. It comes out of a place of strong desire, will, and training and reprogramming of the mind and how we think. When I begin to work with a client in a one-on-one capacity, or when I am working a crowd at an event, when I discover what the challenge is, what the complaint is, I know that the complaint is the symptom. It's the symptom of poor thinking. It's the symptom of poor habits. It's the symptom of erroneous perception. Their perspective of life is off, and therefore they're interpreting things in a way that presents challenges. And my goal is to reprogram. My goal is to reset and put a new focus. My goal is to arrange ideas in their minds in a way that they start to see things differently. My responsibility is to create change, reprogram, realign, get them to understand the power of their thoughts, get them to understand the power of their self-talk, get them to understand the power of perception. If you're perceiving things through a lens of lack, everything is going to look like lack. If you're perceiving things through the lens of trauma, everything is going to look traumatizing. If you're perceiving things through a lens of envy, everything is going to seem like everybody's doing better than you. If you're not careful, you will allow poor lenses, old viewpoints, and old paradigms to continuously lock you into stagnant living. And you will always be in a place of survival, a place of defensiveness. And you will never be able to step out and walk into what is the greatness of your potential. You're going to have to change. I want to encourage you. I want to challenge you. I want to impress upon you the importance of taking life seriously. You've heard me say this many times. There are 86,400 seconds in the day. They should all be accounted for. None of them are casual. None of them are unimportant. Some of it you're definitely going to use to sleep, rest, and recover. That's important for your health. It's important for your performance, clarity of thought and mind. So you need to have a certain amount of that time allotted for rest. But you've also got to have some family time. You need to experience life and love and connectivity with people who matter to you. One of the things that is challenging is being in spaces where you exist in isolation. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your emotional health. So you need some time with people you enjoy being around. And then you need to invest some time into reeling in that dream. You need to invest some time into pulling in that awesomeness. that's inside of you, but you need to focus it. You got 86,400 seconds in a day. How you invest in those are going to determine the outcome of your life. It's that simple. Stop treating your life casual. Stop putting things off. Stop procrastinating. In heaven's sake, stop lying to yourself and saying you're going to do anything when you haven't made up in your mind to do anything. You're going to have to get to a point to where you are as committed to it as you are infatuated by it. See, a lot of you are infatuated with the idea of having something, infatuated with the idea of doing something, infatuated with the idea of being perceived in a certain way, and you have not yet become connected and driven and committed enough to carry out what it takes to have it. So it seems consistently as a distant idea, just a passing fancy or thought, fantasy. So if you will, the truth of the matter is, if you can conceive it in your mind, you should be moving toward it because you could have it. If it's there, if it's important enough for you that you're thinking about it, because your thoughts are important. What you give your thoughts to create things. Your thoughts become the things of tomorrow. And so if you are not careful, you'll be spending time winding up and daydreaming about something, and you'll be giving your thoughts to the idea that you can't have it and not even realize it. And you're anchoring yourself in today because you won't uproot and start moving towards tomorrow. Your thoughts have physicality. Be very careful with what you do to them because you set things in motion. How committed are you? That's the question. What are you really willing to do? Look, again, I encourage you to go into the description box, the post box, whatever it is that's going to be there on the platform on which you're watching me. And look in there and number one, definitely register for Ascension. This is pre-registration. The prices are definitely going to go up over $100 for attendance for this event. Both physically and virtually. And it's going to be worth every dime. We're talking 8 hours. 6.5 hours of that is me. And you're probably wondering, what can a person do on stage in 6.5 hours? Bring it. Electricity, energy, change, literally help people in one-on-one capacities experience things in 10 minutes that they haven't been able to experience in the last 5 to 10 years. I'm telling you, it's possible. I'm telling you that the realities you're looking for start here. If you can work it out here, if you can get out of your way here, it's absolutely nothing that you can't do. So I'm not going to tell you which of those great offers to take, but they are great. But I will tell you, you definitely need to attend the event. Some of those offers come with free admission. So you can get, kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm still breathing, and that means I'm not done yet. That means that there's at least another book in me because I'm still breathing. That I'm going for book number 26 now. That means that there's more to be done with the work I do in the community. There's more to be done. Who knows? I may get to 50 companies before we talk again next year this time. I'm at 47 now. I haven't thought about anything new I want to do. I'm managing the several plus that I have on deck, which is enough for me right now. But I got here by being ambitious. I got here by having a will and a willingness to go the distance. It's not who you know. It's not how much you know. All that stuff is important. Great strategy, great plan. But if you don't have a willingness to go the distance, it's going to be for nothing. Because the moment you run into something that causes you enough discomfort, you're going to put it down. There's nothing to make me put my vision down. Death is the only thing that'll make me put my vision down. I've gone through some things this year. Lord knows there's some many mornings I just wanted to lay in the bed. But the vision said, get up, put in the work, get lost in your destiny. You'll get through it. And I'm still standing. You have to have that kind of tenacity if you want to really, truly experience success at the highest levels in whatever area you want to experience it in. There's nothing that can be withheld from you that is good. The question is, are you willing to go in and possess it and take it? On that note, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. It has been a pure blessing. I want to thank each of you for stopping by. Again, go into that description box. You can't sit idle. You're going to have to put some skin in the game. What I've done in that box, no matter which program you take, is I've invested in you before meeting you. I've given a piece of me to you so that you can get close enough to me to get what I have to give you so that you can win. Now it's your turn to meet me halfway. Some of you don't even have to come halfway if you look at some of those offers, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I down E. I'm going down E. What does that mean? I mean, I'm not taking not an ounce of my potential to the grave. I'm not going to live life casually. I'm not going to meander through the maze of mediocrity and just be happy with being average. I'm going to wake up every day and answer the bell. My challenge to you is to do the same. On that note, I'm out of here.